In this video, we'll be looking at section 2.4, graphing in vertex form. Our essential question will be, how do I identify the vertex when in vertex form? And this is like the main new piece that we're adding to this. So our vertex form looks something like this. This is vertex form. And so when it's in vertex form, I just take the opposite of what's inside of here, and that's my x-coordinate, and then I keep this value the same, and that's my y-coordinate. So when we're in vertex form, we can just look at the equation and immediately know what the vertex is. So let's do a couple. Let's say I had y equals x minus 2 squared plus 4. So the value on the inside becomes its opposite. So if it's a negative 2, it becomes a positive 2. The value on the outside stays the same. So it's a 4. And then that is my vertex. So the value on the inside becomes its opposite. It's my x-coordinate. The value on the outside stays the same, and that's my y-coordinate. And that's the vertex. So say we were looking at something like this. What would its vertex be? The value on the inside becomes its opposite. The value on the outside stays the same. So it's a negative 7, so it stays negative 7. And then there's my vertex. Okay, so now let's add this into our idea of graphing. So the equation we'll be looking at is y equals x minus 2, 4 times x minus 2 squared minus 16. Step 1, find the vertex. And we do that by identifying it. So we are in vertex form. So we just identify it. So my vertex becomes its opposite. The opposite of -2 is +2. And the value on the outside stays the same. So -16 stays -16. And I found my vertex. Step 2, the axis of symmetry. Which from our standard form, we already know this. X equals the x coordinate of the vertex. So we can just say x equals, and here's my vertex, here's my x coordinate. So just bring this number straight down, like so. Step 3, find x-intercepts. The same kind of idea. X-intercepts are where y equals 0. So the first thing we'll do, set y equal to 0. So I have my equation from before, y equals 4, x minus 2 squared minus 16. So I'm going to set y equal to 0. And then part B would be to solve using square roots. So now we'll go through that process. Remember, we isolate the square, then we take the square root of both sides, and then we finish up. So first I'll isolate the square. So I've isolated the square. Got the squared portion all by itself, adding 16 to both sides and dividing both sides by 4. Then we'll take the square root of both sides. The square root gets rid of my exponent of 2. But then when I take the square roots, I get the plus and the minus. And now we solve each one. So I found that the x-intercepts are 4 and 0. To find the y-intercept, our fourth step is find the y-intercept. And to do that, we set x equal to 0. So I'll say y equals 4 times 0 minus 2 squared minus 16. And part B is solve. So we're just going to solve this. We have 0 minus 2 is negative 2. So I have y equals 4 times negative 2 squared minus 16. Using our order of operations, we'll do our exponent first. So y equals 4 times negative 2 squared would be negative 2 times negative 2, which is a positive 4 minus 16. And then we'll do y equals 16 minus 16, which equals 0. So we found that our y-intercept is 0. And then our last step is graph. So we have all our information. Now we just have to put it onto a graph. So I have my vertex is 2 comma negative 16. My axis of symmetry is x equals 2. My x-intercepts are 4 comma 0, and my y-intercept is 0. Since I have this larger vertex number, negative 16, I'm going to count by 2's. That should be good. So we'll start at our vertex, which is at 2, negative 16. And then I have my x-intercepts are 4 and 0. Remember, these are our x values on the x-axis. So 4 and 0. Then I have my y-intercept is at 0, so I already got that point marked. So now we'll do our best to make this a U-shaped. It's pretty steep. Like so. And then we can draw our axis of symmetry. Like so. And that's how we can graph when given our equation in vertex form. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day.